Pearl Jam are back with a new single, album, and tour. The new single and album are called Dark Matter, and the new track could be one of Pearl Jam's best singles in a very long time. Let's hope the album follows suit. Let's break it all down. Hey everybody, it's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the Rot Squad channel. You know, it's been 3 long years since we got new music from The Jam. The Jam? Who am I talking about? These guys? No, we're talking about Pearl Jam, who this week released a brand new song called Dark Matter, announced a brand new album of the same name, as well as a 2024 world tour. Can a world tour really be a world tour if they don't come to Toronto? I'm just saying. But let's break down all this very awesome Pearl Jam news. All right, so the 12th studio album from Pearl Jam, it's coming out. It's called Dark Matter. It comes out on April the 10th. It is the follow-up to 2020's Gigaton, and the new album was produced by Andrew Watt, who has done a lot of big records in his career, including the latest Rolling Stones record, Hackney Diamonds. And Dark Matter was recorded over a 3-week period at Shangri-La Studios in Malibu, California, which is surprising that Pearl Jam could make a record this quickly. You know, Pearl Jam had been known to take a long time, varying times between each record, so the fact that they got in there and did a quick record and made this music really quickly, it makes it sound like it's going to be a fresh sounding album. And taking a look at the track list, Dark Matter is going to feature 11 new Pearl Jam tracks, including songs called Scared of Fear, React, Respond, Wreckage, Upper Hand, Waiting for Stevie, interested to hear what that song's about, Setting Sun, and more. And this new track, Dark Matter, is definitely a strong track from Pearl Jam. Dare I say it's Pearl Jam's most conventional single in a very long time. I have to say I love the drums from Matt Cameron on this track. He's always been great with Pearl Jam, but I've always felt like he's been a little bit underutilized. Like they've never really taken advantage of his drumming the same way that they did when he was in Soundgarden, but this song puts him front and center, and he sounds very Matt Cameron-ish. And it's got a really nice chunky guitar riff in there as well. We know that Pearl Jam has always been a great guitar band. They've had some of the greatest rock riffs in the history of rock, but they haven't had a lot of huge riffs on the last few records. And this song also has a killer solo from Mike McCready in there as well. Absolutely fantastic. Eddie Vedder sounds really good on this. He's putting everything into his vocals, and he's hitting some pretty ripping notes on this track. I think overall it's a really, really strong single and one of Pearl Jam's better singles in a really long time. I have to admit that I wasn't a huge fan of Gigaton when it came out in 2020. I found the songwriting to be pretty weak and just didn't sound like the most inspired Pearl Jam record, but this new song, Dark Matter, is not just a great single, it's a great Pearl Jam track, and I really, really dig it. My hope is that they continue the energy from the single Dark Matter and continue that through the album Dark Matter, because this has a lot of energy and a lot of punch to it that I felt that Gigaton lacked. Yeah, I have to say my reaction to some of Pearl Jam's recent material, even though they've only put out 2 records in the last decade, my reactions have been mixed. I wasn't huge on Gigaton. I liked Lightning Bolt. I felt that had some really strong tracks on it, but then we're going back into the 2000s after that with albums like Backspacer. I think the last album that I really, really loved from Pearl Jam was that self-titled record that came out in 2006 with these songs like Worldwide Suicide and Unemployable. Love that record, and I'm hoping that Pearl Jam can recapture some of that magic. They've been so inconsistent, not really because of the music, but just in general of putting out records. They've not really been inconsistent with touring, but just in terms of putting out records, they've been inconsistent. So hopefully they can regain some of that consistency with this new record, Dark Matter. And in support of the new record, Pearl Jam is heading out on a world tour that kicks off in Vancouver on May the 4th. So there is a Canadian date in there. Can't knock them for that. But they're going to continue on to Las Vegas, LA, Seattle, Chicago, New York, as well as international spots like Dublin, Manchester, Berlin, and Barcelona, plus a ton more dates. But no Toronto date. What's up with that? I'm sure they're going to hit it on the next leg of the itinerary, but I was surprised that it wasn't included on this list. But not to say that I would go to the Pearl Jam show if they played in Toronto, because chances are the ticket prices would be absolutely insane. And although I love Pearl Jam and I've never seen them live, that might put me off from really rushing out to the show. And I saw that Richard Ashcroft is going to be opening up some of the dates on the tour as well, so that's really cool. Overall, I think this new single from Pearl Jam, Dark Matter, is a great tune and a great introduction to what will hopefully be a great Pearl Jam record. We'll have to wait and see when Dark Matter, the album, comes out on April the 10th.